today we're going to look at a different genre, and the title of it is Growing Plants. We're going to look at a how-to article. So, before we read the article, let's look at what makes a how-to article. So, how-to writing teaches us how to do something, shows the steps are put in an order, tells us how to do something with words and pictures, and it tells us what we need to make something. So it gives us the information. The supplies, materials, and ingredients. It tells us what we need. So the title of our story, or our how-to article, is Growing Plants. And I want you to go ahead and think about what you have learned this week already about growing plants in our other texts. So think about Carly's Garden, the one we used on Monday. And also you can think about Frog and Toad Together, what we read yesterday, and think about what you've already learned about growing plants. Okay, so that was two different types of text, and the author's purpose was different for both of them. One of them, Carly's Garden, the author's purpose was to inform. And then Frog and Toad Together, the author's purpose was to entertain, because that was an animal fantasy. So today we're looking at a how-to article. Okay. So the title of our text, like I said, is Growing Plants. And it says, "Do not be afraid to start a garden. It is not hard. Read how." Okay, so think right now, think about these clues, and I want you to make a prediction about what you might learn. And then I want you to think about how these clues helped you make a prediction. What are we going to learn about? So we're going to be reading this how-to article. And a how-to article tells us how to make or do something. It gives us directions in how to articles are made up of steps that are in the order in which they should be followed. Sometimes how-to articles have pictures that help us understand what we're supposed to do. The pictures can help us find specific information. So we're going to read Growing Plants. And as we read, we're going to think about what makes it a how-to article. So let me get a little bit closer. All right, back to the title, Growing Plants. Do not be afraid to start a garden. It is not hard. Read how. 1. Plant a few seeds. 2. Let the sun shine on them. 3. Water the seeds. Again and again. Soon you will be growing large plants. So in this nonfiction text, they gave us a diagram, and the diagram gives us a little bit more information about the steps to growing plants. And I like how they have numbered the steps with great pictures, and then they've even labeled different parts. So go ahead and study that for a second. Look at the picture. Okay, and I want you to think about, what are the 3 steps to make a garden? Okay, now think about, how do the pictures help you find specific information? I want you to compare the things Toad did to make a garden in Frog and Toad Together with the steps in this text, Growing Plants. So, I think how-to article has steps to follow in order. When I read Growing Plants, I see the first page has 3 steps that tell me how to grow plants. 1, I need to plant seeds. 2, I need to let the sun shine on them. 3, I need to water them again and again. Think about the author's purpose of this text. Is it to persuade, inform, or entertain? Good readers look for clues about the author's purpose for writing. As I read Growing Plants, I see directions that tell me how to grow plants. I also see pictures that give me more clues about how to grow plants. I think the author's purpose for writing this article is to teach readers how to grow plants. So, the author's purpose is to inform. It's giving us information about how to grow plants. So think about this. Do you predict that a seed would grow without sunlight and water? How did you use what you learned in this article to answer this question? What steps would you follow to grow a plant? Okay. Growing Plants is a how-to article, and the author's purpose is to inform. Let's review our poster before we go. How-to writing or how-to articles teaches us how to do something. The steps are put in order. We call that sequence. Tells us how to do something with words and pictures. Growing Plants did both of those. And also tells us what we need to do to make something, or what we need to make something. So it gives us the materials that we're going to need. Until next time.